While they were praying and praising God about midnight. Now, who would think that somebody in jail at midnight would be praising God? But anyway, they were praising God, and an angel of the Lord came, and there was an earthquake. And the angel of the Lord loosed their bounds and opened the gates so that they could get away. Well, many of the prisoners left and escaped, but Paul and Silas didn't. And while they were there, the jailer came and he saw the gates open. He says, "Oh, my Lord," because in those days, if the jailer let the prisoners escape, he paid with his life because they would kill him. So he was so distraught and upset, he took a sword out and started to kill himself. And Paul said, "Stop in your tracks. Do yourself no harm. We are all here." And we didn't try to escape. Even though we could have escaped, we didn't try to escape. So this jailer was so relieved because his life depended on them being there. And if they weren't there, he was going to be killed. And he was so relieved. He wanted to know, what kind of God is this that you're serving, that you wouldn't escape when you had a chance to, when you had an opportunity? You didn't try to run away, but you stayed here because you were in jail. And so this jailer asked them, what could he do to be saved? Now I'm going to tell you another story. And this story is about a young man. He was a captive in Babylon. His name is Daniel. You know the story of Daniel. Daniel was one of the Hebrews that had been taken captive by King Nebuchadnezzar. And the king ordered an edict that nobody could pray to any god except his God. And they had idols. Of course, they worshiped idols. And they had this idol, and nobody could pray to any god but the idol. But you see, Daniel loved God, and Daniel prayed. And one of his modes of prayer was 3 times a day he would go to his room, open the window, and pray to his God, look towards the east, because the children of Israel felt like if they were looking towards the east, they were looking towards the temple, and that way they could pray and God would hear them. Because you know the story of when when Solomon dedicated the temple, that he dedicated the temple of God so that and he asked God that if anybody prayed and looked towards the temple, they would be blessed. So the temple was towards the east, and so they always, whenever any Hebrew prayed, they always looked to the east. Well, this king had said he could not pray. Daniel knew that, and he said anybody that prayed, they were going to cast him into the den of lions. Daniel knew that. And yet Daniel, at the appointed time, and usually about the noon hour, he went to his room, opened the window. He didn't try to hide behind the window, as he had always done. And he got on his knees and he prayed. Well, there were certain people there that hated the Hebrew children because they had been given positions of power, positions to rule over other people, and they felt jealous and envious of Daniel. And they went back and told the king. Well, the king called Daniel in and warned him, if you pray to any other god, we're going to have to throw you in the lion's den. Daniel stopped and went back and said, I have to obey God rather than man.